there was others that I would never be able to work on. That was also and so we came in there. And in that period, I was also recovering myself. I had a voice that told me it was my fault, I led him into sin, I deserved to burn in hell. Which is why I burnt myself incidentally. I'm a Catholic. And if you're full of sin, before you get into heaven, you have to go through purgatory, where you're cleansed by fire. I was cleaning myself. I wasn't self-harming, I was cleaning. I was getting myself ready. That bit of Catholic was still there, you know, even though I'd left the church. I had another voice that told me to kill myself so we could be a family again. That was Annabelle. I had a voice that told me I was worthless, hopeless, I'd never make anything in my life. I was a terrible person. That was my father's voice. My father never said any of those things. No, so it wasn't memories. It was because my relationship with my father totally broke down after my abuse. And it broke down because, in a sense, I blamed my father because he couldn't stop it. And the reason he couldn't stop it was, I never told him about it. You know, he never found out until I was in my 30s. And that was when our relationship was mended. You know, once we had that dialogue that we needed to have. But the voice of the priest, that was, you know, it was so strange because everything was interrelated. Annabelle's voice was there because, you know, I just loved this woman. I loved her from the moment I met her. I loved her the day she died. I still love her today, and I'll love her the day I died. I mean, that means love. It's just no compromise. It's there. You can't unlove somebody. You might hate them, but that's just part of love, I think. I think that's just the other extreme of that emotion. I think it's on that same thing. And I just, I wanted so much to be with her. That for me, I was able to work out that this voice telling me to kill myself wasn't really about me dying, it was about me wanting to be with her. I needed her, and she was part of who I was, and I'd never let her go. And I guess I had to learn in a very real way that there came a point in my life when I had to let her go. I had to say goodbye for the final time. And that came because I met my wife, Karen, yeah. And I met Karen at this meeting, and she just blew me away, and I couldn't commit to anything because I was still with Annabelle in my head, and she was still part of who I was. And so there came a point where I had to make a choice. You can have Annabelle as a voice, or you can have Karen as your wife, you know, or as a possible wife at that time. Because so I negotiated with Annabelle's voice on the basis that I would never stop loving her. I think it'd be wrong to do that. But I needed the space to go and have my own life now. I needed to say goodbye. And I said goodbye over a week. Now I just speak to Annabelle on the day of her birthday, day of the first day we met, anniversary of that, and anniversary of her death. And I guess in a relationship where you've lost somebody, that's normal. That's when we would speak to them, you know. I think the difference for me is on those days, she speaks back to me. And I actually quite look forward to it, because you feel like you're being, there's a bit of infidelity going on, you know, 3 days a year you can have this relationship. My wife knows about it. My wife's a psychiatric nurse, by the way, so I married the enemy. But no, she's great. And getting rid of Annabelle's voice was, I never saw it as getting rid of it. I saw me finally letting her go. I think there's a difference. You know, I finally let her go and have, I guess, her peace as well as my piece, which is important, I think. The priest's voice is different. Suffice it to say, I had to deal with the guilt and shame that's associated with sexual abuse. We don't have time tonight to go into that. I will be tomorrow. But I found myself innocent, emotionally innocent, which is what's really important. And in that emotional innocence, the voice of the priest lost its power. And you see, because its power was always based on my guilt. And once I found innocence, and I guess what that led me to is to where I am now. I have a wife, I have children. Altogether between us we have 7, which is quite a lot of children. It's expensive. My eldest son, he's doing medicine. He'll probably become a psychiatrist. My eldest daughter's a psychiatric nurse. Alex, one of our other daughters, works with vulnerable children and will probably become a social worker. The only one I think's normal is my youngest one. She's 8, and all she wants to be is a mermaid, and I'm quite happy with that. That's normal. That's normal. And what I found through that journey of recovery, that journey in that voices world, with Paul and we a whole host of other people, but Paul and I have remained firm friends now for 20 years in January. Yeah, we can down it to that.